I've been playing the Crew Motorfest beta over the weekend. I want to talk about my impressions of the game and how it compares on the Xbox Series S versus Series X versus PS5. Let's start with my first impressions of the Crew Motorfest. This game is essentially a copy of Forza Horizon 5. Even the opening 10 minutes are exactly like Forza Horizon 5. You get introduced to the various vehicles and racing styles, from street racing to dirt racing to all the different type of vehicles. Now that's not a bad thing because Crew Motorsport actually does a pretty good job of it. The Hawaii Island setting of the game looks gorgeous, the graphics are pretty decent, the vehicles all look good, and there's a ton of them to choose from, over 500. There's also a lot to do in this game. Just like Forza, you free roam, you travel to your destination and participate in different type of events. The driving in the Crew does feel a bit different than Forza Horizon. The Crew feels like even more of an arcade style game than Forza Horizon. I would say the driving experience falls somewhere between Need for Speed and Forza Horizon. This game also has some new vehicle types that we don't see in Forza Horizon. There's F1 style racing, there's motorcycles, there's even boats and even airplanes. Yup, you can fly around in an airplane and explore the island. Pretty cool. The game also is pretty big on customization. In fact, you can walk around in your character in this game meeting place and you can vote for the coolest customized cars from other players or even enter your own into the contest. Now to play this game, you always need to be connected online. Progress is saved online on your Ubisoft Connect account. This means the game has cross-platform play as well as cross-platform saves. That's right, you can continue your game progress between different platforms, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. The game seems to be a pretty big win for PS5 owners. Finally, a new game on Sony's console that can rival Forza Horizon 5. Now, is this game better than Horizon 5? Well, I can't say just yet. But when the final game does come out and I play it enough, I might do a detailed comparison. Between three consoles, the beta came in at 36.8 gigabytes on the Series S and X and 33.5 gigabytes on PS5. Loading from dashboard all the way to free roam takes 48 seconds on the PS5, 53 seconds on the Xbox Series S, and 55 seconds on the Series X. Now you would expect Xbox to have the advantage from quick resume, but quick resume doesn't work for this game. And that's because you do need a constant connection to Ubisoft Connect. When you do quick resume it, the game will just kick you out to the main menu. Once you're in the game though, there's virtually no loading times. It's pretty quick. Starting up a race takes about 7 to 8 seconds. Fast travel is even quicker, almost instant, taking only 2 to 3 seconds. All three consoles are neck and neck when it comes to loading, but if you're looking for a console war, then the PS5 is the clear winner. Now let's talk about the graphics. Xbox Series X and PS5 have two modes, resolution and performance, while the Series S doesn't have any graphic mode settings, there's just the one default. This got me a little worried. I thought they would have it 30 FPS on the Series S, but nope. They defaulted to 60 FPS on the Series S for bulk of the game. The Crew does look a bit blurry though on the Series S. Here's the Series S versus Series X versus PS5 in performance mode. We got dynamic 1080p on the Series S and dynamic 1440p on the Series X and PS5. You can especially see the difference when I zoom in 4 times on the image, but even without zooming in, it's a clear difference. You can see how much better the game looks on the Series X and PS5 compared to the Series S. I guess that's to be expected with a console that's significantly less powerful. The Xbox Series X and PS5 also have resolution mode. Resolution mode bumps the quality up to dynamic 4K, but the frame rate targets to 30 FPS. To see the difference between the two modes, you really have to zoom in as I've done in this comparison. I would actually just suggest sticking to 60 FPS performance mode regardless of the console you're using. Now the interesting part, the performance. I tested the frame rate and performance on all three consoles. Let's start with the Series S. This does default to 60 FPS during most of the game. but like I said, it's most of the game. I did notice that entire intro of the game is actually locked to 30 FPS. This intro race you see through the city streets, there's so much going on. There's all this lighting. I guess the Series S just can't handle it. So in this particular race, it's locked to 30 FPS. In fact, the entire intro gameplay is locked to 30 FPS, and it's not even a solid locked 30 FPS either. There's actually a lot of screen tearing and dips in the frame rate. The screen tearing here is so bad you literally notice it while playing. The good news is once you do get past the intro, the game kind of opens up and then targets 60 FPS. So the Series S free roam here is 60 FPS, and so are all the other races I noticed and I tried out after. They're all 60 FPS on the Series S. Now it's not a solid locked 60, and there are dips into the 50s, and that screen tearing I saw during the intro gameplay, well, it's still here for the rest of the game. The good news is it's not nearly as bad as the intro gameplay, and we're still in beta, so hopefully they do clean it up when the final game comes out. Now the more powerful Xbox Series X and PS5, as I said, have two modes, performance and resolution. Performance mode does target 60 FPS. The Xbox Series X handles performance mode really well. It stays at 60 FPS most of the time, but if you're really fishing for it, there are some rare minor drops and a bit of screen tearing as well. Now the screen tearing and drops are not nearly as bad as what I saw on the Series S, and as expected, the game does run much better on the more powerful Series X. PlayStation 5 performance is similar to Series X. In very rare cases, it might drop a frame or two, but overall, it's a solid 60 FPS. I didn't notice any screen tearing on the PlayStation 5, so for that reason, I would say the Crew Motorfest runs performance mode the best on PS5. Second place goes to the Series X, and the last place goes to the Series S. Now, there's also resolution mode, which is of course 4K, but targets 30 FPS. The Series X struggles in this mode. There's a lot of frame drops and a lot of screen tearing. The PlayStation 5, on the other hand, is pretty stable. It's locked to 30 FPS and has no screen tearing. And although I don't recommend resolution mode on either of the two consoles, it does certainly run better on the PS5. So that was it. That's the technical review of the Crew Motorfest on all three consoles. For the rest of the video, I have some more side-by-side gameplay comparisons between the three. You'll get to see how the graphics look during gameplay as well as the performance.
You can just call me Keola. I was told that you needed someone to show you around. I'm more than happy to share a story or two along the way.